Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 7, what Prahlad learned in the womb, text number 55. Etavan eva lokesmin Pumsa Swarta Parasmrita Ekanta Bhaktir Govinde Yat Sarvatra Tad Ikshanam Etavan eva lokesmin Pumsa Swarta Parasmrita Ekanta Bhaktir Govinde Yat Sarvatra Tad Ikshanam Etavan eva lokesmin Pumsa Swarta Parasmrita Kanta Bhaktir Govinde Yat Sarvatra Tadikshanam Dami Etavan eva lokesmin Pumsa Swarta Parasmrita Ekanta Bhaktir Govinde Yat Sarvatra Tadikshanam Etavan, this much, Eva, certainly, Loke Asmin, in this material world, Pumsa, of the living entity, Swarta, the real self-interest, Para, transcendental, Smritaha, regarded, Ekanta Bhakti, unalloyed devotional service, Govinde, to Govinda, Yat, which, Sarvatra, everywhere, Tat Ikshanam, seeing the relationship with Govinda, Krishna. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In this material world, to render service to the lotus feet of Govinda, cause of all causes, and to see Him everywhere is the only goal of life. This much alone is the ultimate goal of life, as explained by all the revealed scriptures. Purport. In this verse, the words Sarvatra Tad Ikshanam describe the highest perfection of devotional service, in which one sees everything with reference to Govinda's activities. A highly elevated devotee never sees anything unrelated to Govinda. Stavara Jangamam Deke Deki Tara Murti Sarvatra Haya Nita Ishta Deva Spurati. The Mahabhagavata, the advanced devotee, certainly sees everything mobile and immobile, but he does not exactly see their forms. Rather, everywhere he immediately sees manifests the form of the Supreme Lord. Even in this material world, the devotee does not see materially manifested things. Instead, he sees Govinda in everything. When he sees a tree or a human being, the devotee sees them in relation to Krishna, Govinda. Govindam Adi Purusham. Govinda is the original source of everything. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachit Anandan Vigraha Anadir Govinda Sarva Karanam. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal, blissful, spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, but he is the prime source of all causes, prime cause of all causes. Brahma Samhita 5.1. The test of a perfect devotee is that he sees Govinda everywhere in this universe, even in every atomic particle. Andantarasta Paramanu Chirantarastam. That this is perfect vision of a devotee. Therefore it said, Narayanam ayam dira pashanti paramartina jagat dana mayam lubda kamaka kamini mayam. The devotee sees everyone and everything in relationship with Narayan. Narayanam ayam. Everything is an expansion of Narayan's energy. Just as those who are greedy see everything as a source of money making, and those who are lusty see everything as being conducive to sex, the most perfect devotee, Prahlad Maharaj, saw Narayan even within a stone column. This does not mean, however, that we must accept the words Daridra Narayan, which have become manufactured by some unscrupulous person. One who's actually envious, one who actually envisions Narayana everywhere, makes no distinction between the poor and the rich. To single out the Daridra Narayans or poor Narayans and reject the Dani Narayan or rich Narayan is not the vision of a devotee. Rather, that is the imperfect vision of a materialistic person. That's on the Bhaktivedanta Purports of the 7th canto, 7th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled, What Prahlad Learned in the Womb. So the text again, Etavam eva lokesmin pumsa swarta parak smrita ekanta bhaktir govinde yaksarvatra tad ikshanam. This material world, to render service to the lotus feet of Govinda, the cause of all causes, and to see him everywhere is the only goal of life. This much alone is the ultimate goal of human life. It's explained by all the revealed scriptures. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswatundeve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskyadyade Satarne. This idea of seeing Krishna everywhere is the normal state of consciousness. Only due to the material influence, so we think something's apart from Krishna. Just like when you see heat and light, you understand there must be some fire somewhere. If you think that there's heat, but it's not coming from some source of fire or illumination, it's coming from nothing. And obviously you're mistaken. We just don't perceive the source. Just like in the morning, when the sun comes up, we may not directly see the sun, but we know the sun's up because there is light. Just like right now, I can't see the sun, but I surmise that there is a sun somewhere in the sky because there's light everywhere. So, ekadesha sthitera jagna jotashvinsrasi yata parasya brahmana shakti tatedam akalam jagat. So just like fire is in one place, but it's illuminating with heat and light everywhere. So similarly, Krishna is in one place and he's expanding his energies everywhere. Parasya brahmana shakti tatedam akalam jagat. And as we understand that all his energies are acting as a natural sequence. Svabhavaki jnanabala kriya cha. Nitasya karyam karanam chavidite. Nitatsamas chavyavadikastra drishyate. Parasya shaktir vividaiva shuyate. Svabhavaki jnanabala kriya cha. That there is no one who's greater than Krishna. And there's no one who's equal to Krishna. Everyone is subordinate to Krishna. And everything we see is just an expansion of Krishna's energies, which are acting as a natural sequence. Parasya shaktir vividaiva shuyate swabhavaki jnanabala kriya cha. The energies for acting, the energies for strength or knowledge, the energies for Parashya Shakti Vividaya Swabhavaki Jnana Balakriyacha. For knowledge, for strength, for activity, they're all acting naturally because Krishna set them in motion and he's provided the laws. He himself doesn't have to personally take part in every activity, but the material nature works under his direction. Therefore, Krishna says that Sarvabhuta Samatmanam, Sarvabhuta Nichatmani, Ikshite Yoga Yukta Atma, Sarvatra Samadarshanaha, that the true yogi observes me in all beings and sees every being in me. Indeed, the self-realized soul sees me, the same Supreme Lord, everywhere. Yomam Pashati Sarvatra, Sarvam Chamayi Pashati, Tasyaham na pranashami, na chame na pranashati. And for one who can see me everywhere, and he can see everything in me, I am never lost to him, nor is he ever lost to me. Now the question is, why don't we see Krishna everywhere? We're told that all this energy that we're perceiving is all Krishna's energy. Bhumi arapalo vayu kamano bevicha. So why don't we just accept everything's Krishna's energy? We understand every living entity is part and parcel of Krishna. Why don't we just accept that we're just a particle of Krishna? That's called illusion. And therefore it says, Vayam dvitiya viniveshatasya isharapatasya viparyo smriti. That when the living entity wants to take Krishna's role, when he wants to reverse it, instead of making Krishna the master, one wants to become Krishna's master. And everyone in the material world is trying to have Krishna as the master, to make oneself the master of Krishna. So what do we mean by that? I'm innocent. I don't even know Krishna. Even if I wanted to make him my master, he wouldn't listen to me anyhow. So what do I mean we want to make Krishna our master? Well, we're sitting in this machine made of the material nature. We're sitting there desiring. And we're requesting Krishna to fulfill our desires. Just like Arjuna, he got the opportunity to choose whether or not he was going to take Krishna's army before the battle of Kurukshetra, or he's going to take Krishna. Actually, he didn't exactly get the choice. Duryodhana got the first choice, and he chose the army of Krishna. What happened is that Arjuna and Duryodhana went to Dwarka because they wanted to get Krishna's help in their battle against each other. So they came into Krishna's room where he was sleeping, and Arjuna stood by his feet. And Duryodhana was by his head. So as soon as Krishna woke up, he'd see Duryodhana first, and Duryodhana could ask for the first benediction. So Krishna woke up, he saw Duryodhana, he said, yes, what can I do? So Duryodhana said, well, I'd like you to come and fight for me against Arjuna and the Pandavas. So Krishna said, no, I can't do that. I'm neutral in this fight. You're both equally related to me. I cannot fight. So Krishna said, well, here's Arjuna, here you are. I can give you a deal. One of you can choose my army, and the other can choose me. But if you choose me, I won't fight in the battle. So Duryodhana immediately said, I want your army. What's the use of you if you won't fight? So Arjuna was very happy. He said, no, I want Krishna. Even if he doesn't fight, that's all right. So even Krishna doesn't fight. In other words, we're here in this chariot called the material body. Krishna is the chariot driver. He doesn't fight, but he gives us intelligence. How we ourselves should desire. Everything is based upon desire in this material world. So Krishna is trying to give us the proper intelligence, how to desire, so that we can go back to the spiritual world. In the great fight for material existence, which everyone loses. As Krishna tells Arjuna, Kalosmi lokashe krit pravrido, everyone on this battlefield is going to die. So that includes everyone here. Sorry for the bad news. But at the same time, we have a chariot driver in our heart called Krishna, and he's trying to tell us how to direct our desires, how to direct our existence, so that we become victorious over the battle of material energy, that when the body dies, that we don't die, but we don't take another body to go through old age, disease, and death again. So in that sense, Krishna is everywhere, but we're supposed to take shelter of Krishna, desire for Krishna, desire to fight for Krishna, and that way we'll be able to perceive how Krishna is everywhere. Duryodhana got the army of Krishna, but it didn't do him any good. His army was destroyed, and he was destroyed also. Because he was blind. He didn't understand Krishna, how Krishna is everywhere, how Krishna is controlling everything. And therefore the Bhagavad Gita said, they're already put to death by my arrangement, but your Savasachi can be but an instrument in the fight. Dronam cha, Bhishmam cha, Jayadratham cha, Karnam Tatamya, Apiyoda Viryan. These great warriors, Drona, Dronacharya, Bhishma, they were all killed. Although they thought themselves, and others thought themselves, infallible, undefeatable, they were all killed by material energy. Only Arjuna and the Pandavas actually had victory because they took shelter of Krishna. And therefore they were able to serve Krishna in any circumstance, and they saw Krishna everywhere. Therefore, if one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I'm never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. So what's the problem? The problem is that we have reversed our roles. We want Krishna to satisfy our lust, to satisfy our anger, to satisfy our greed. And indeed, Krishna is giving us the intelligence how to do that, but the price we have to pay is we're put into illusion. That if we want to satisfy our material desires, we also have to be given a false ego by which we can try to gratify those desires, by which we become addicted to trying to gratify the mind and the senses. Therefore, if we want to see Krishna everywhere, we can't do it by reversing our roles with Krishna. We have to utilize our existence to serve Krishna rather than utilize Krishna to serve our material desires. Now, we may not think Krishna is fulfilling our material desires. We may imagine that we're the doer, that we're desiring and we're doing so many things, and just incidentally, Krishna, it's being arranged. But actually, that's just an illusion. We're not doing anything, as Krishna says, nor are we actually entangled. We're just an illusion. We're certainly desiring, in that sense, we're doing something, and Krishna is certainly arranging everything through his material nature. But this false desires, this useless desires, are not doing us any good. It's just creating one body after another. So the whole idea, we should see Krishna everywhere by the process of devotional service. So one takes up devotional service, beginning with appreciating that everything here is Krishna's energy, and everything is meant for Krishna's service, and I should follow Krishna's representatives to find out how he wants me to use his energy in his service. It's not enough to just know that everything belongs to Krishna. We have to find out through Krishna's representatives what he wants us to do. So that's Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. And it's not enough just to accept everything belongs to Krishna, and we should utilize everything for Krishna's service under the direction of Krishna's representatives, but we should do it to please Krishna. Our relation with Krishna is out of love. Krishna has no need in the spiritual world for people to work for him. The gopis aren't getting paid, 10 euros an hour to churn butter. And if they don't get their pay in time, then they stop working for Krishna. Everything is done simply out of love. And love is ecstasy. So they're all always in transcendental, full of transcendental pleasure, unlimited pleasure, ever increasing. Their love is ever increasing. Their happiness is increasing. They have no material necessities. And therefore, they're not thinking, I need this and I need that. I simply need more devotion to Krishna. And here, because we're influenced by material desires, we need more and more things for our dead material bodies, our dead material minds, our useless intelligence, our false ego. And even if we get everything, we can get the whole universe, and we still won't be happy because we don't have Krishna or Govinda. Krishna is the source of pleasure, and without Krishna, there is no pleasure. There's no real pleasure. So if we want happiness, at least, then we have to take shelter of Krishna. And if we want happiness all the time, we have to take shelter of Krishna everywhere. See everything as an opportunity to serve Krishna, and then Krishna will see how Krishna is everywhere. He's in everyone's heart. It's all his energies. It's all being controlled by his material nature. If we try to see everything as an opportunity to serve Krishna and learn how to serve Krishna under every circumstance and do it enthusiastically and willingly, then the result is we will see Krishna everywhere and we'll be in ecstasy all the time. Then we'll be able to see that I have no interest outside of Krishna's mission, interest, and therefore one will be able to see how everything is actually, how wonderful everything is. Now we're thinking everything is material is dead, material energy is useless, is lifeless, and therefore it's not ultimately very interesting. It may appear to be interesting due to the influence of illusion coming from lust, anger, and greed, but when lust, anger, and greed are gradually diminished, then we'll see how dull the material nature is. And if we fix our consciousness upon Krishna, then we'll find out how wonderful Krishna is and how wonderful everyone and everything is in relation to Krishna. So Prahlad Maharaj is advising his schoolmates to perform devotional service so they can see Krishna. They can experience, not just see him with our eyes, but experience him. At the stage of perfection, we can smell Krishna, his wonderful aroma, sandalwood pulp, and aguru, musk. And we can hear Krishna's beautiful sound, the sound of his flute. We can touch Krishna, his transcendental body. We can hear Krishna, or smell, hear, touch, taste. So all these things are there in the perfectional stage. One becomes absorbed in Krishna consciousness, and everything becomes a source of ecstasy because everything is simultaneously one but different from Krishna. In pure consciousness, everyone has wonderful qualities. Everyone has wonderful, loving desires to serve Krishna and serve everyone else. And therefore, the whole world becomes full of happiness. So I'll stop there. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. I would like to ask a question. Yes, like you said, even if we know that Krishna is everywhere, still we cannot see Krishna. We forgot immediately. And also Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita in many chapters, I'm the light of the sun, I'm the heat of the fire, taste of the water. And I can say for myself also, I have water, bottle of water, and I have a stick where it says, I'm the taste of the water. So I have to remind myself through not myself, but I have to have something that I would remind that. So is this our intelligence is so dull, or what is that we cannot see, as Krishna is explaining in Bhagavad Gita, for example? Because those kind of things are not direct, if I understand correctly, devotional service. When I walk on the street and then I see sun, I said, oh, this is eyes of the Krishna. This is not direct.
That's Krishna. That's direct devotional service. It's called smaranam.
Oh, really? Ah, okay. Yes. So what's wrong with our intelligence, even though that we know so
we're
much?
just trying to get some intelligence. Well, our intelligence, because we look at when we see the sun, because we may have read Bhagavad Gita, but we've also been to school, and they taught us that sun is just a ball of fire floating in the air. It came about through the void. So we have other conceptions. And due to the other conceptions, we've been engaged in the material nature since probably time immemorial. engaging in our senses and sense gratification. Therefore, we've acquired a covering over our mind, senses, and intelligence, and we have a false ego. So therefore, we have to gradually purify ourselves by association with Krishna. So if we can somehow or another look at the sun and remember Krishna Smarana, then that's very good. So one day we can look at this, we can keep on reading Bhagavad Gita and get reminded. One day we'll look at the sun and think there is Krishna's energy. He's the sun god. It's Chaksha Esha Savitasa Kala Grahana. So we'll be able to remember. And therefore all the association we had in the past with other things will gradually diminish. It's not by accident. We look at things and we forget Krishna. We remember our past association, because our past association is very strong, and it's actually, there's part of the illusory energy, there's the illusory energy called lust, anger, and greed, an illusion and forgetfulness, which is covering us. But when we add Krishna to it, then the result is that gradually it'll go away. And gradually, the more Krishna is there, the more consistently, the more lovingly, the more absorbed we are in Krishna, then the more of these misconceptions will go away. Therefore, household life is very important in the development of Krishna consciousness, because especially in Kali Yuga, people are not trained as brahmacharis, nor do they have they weren't born by combination, the father and mother are doing a samskar. Therefore, if the husband or wife can live peacefully together and engage with each other in Krishna's service, then the result is they'll gradually see each other in relation to Krishna, and the main attachment and material energy will gradually slacken. And the main reason why we don't see or remember Krishna is because we're absorbed in household life. And in Kali Yuga, of course, you can be a brahmachari and be absorbed in household life, or a sannyasi also. Something like that. Not probably as deeply, but to some extent or another, due to lack of training. But if one is engaging, the husband or wife sit down morning and evening, chant Hare Krishna together, and start to see each other as Krishna's servants, then the result, the main obstacle for seeing everything related to Krishna will go away. If every time we look at a woman or a man, whether it be our husband or wife or anyone else's, any other husband or woman or man, and if we remember Krishna, then our life is practically perfect. And when we don't remember Krishna, then we're always wondering, they love me or they love me not. They love me or they love me not. They're useful, they're useless, whatever. We'll see everything related to our sense gratification. So, household life is important. And then supposedly, or hopefully, vanaprastha and sannyas are the final purifications, whatever other material desires may be there that take away our vision of Krishna will be removed. And brahmachari life is to be trained either to accept the immediate perfection of seeing everyone and everything related to Krishna, or going through household life where one can practice and gradually see male and female, seeing that they're just external bodies and that inside there is a soul. And they do that by engaging with each other in Krishna's service, especially husband and wife. Bringing up children in Krishna's service, sitting down morning and evening, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, chanting together, making the house devotional, offering the prasadam to the deities. So that way they learn to respect and appreciate each other, not only as material bodies, but especially as spiritual souls serving Krishna. Anything else? Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.